Hey Android fans, this is Eric from hollywoodfrodo.com with another in-depth Android app review. Today I'm going to be talking to you about probably the most advanced app ever created for Android called Tasker. I'd be surprised if you haven't heard of it, but maybe you haven't. It's been around for a couple of years now, and it allows you full and complete control over your phone, especially if you have a rooted phone, because through Tasker you can access almost anything inside of your phone, and you can basically make your phone do things that maybe you say, I wish my phone would, and then fill in the blank. A lot of times you can make your phone do that with Tasker. It's very, there are some things you can do with it that are simple, but there's also a lot of complex things you can do with it. If you wanted to, you could probably teach a college course on Tasker, at least 1/4 of a course. I think that you could take a class for a month, just learning, because it's kind of, some of the things you do with it are very basic, and then other things you do with it is kind of like programming in a way, which is amazing because it allows you to program your own phone to do amazing things, which is really cool. But I say that to say that there's no way you can, in a review, in a YouTube review, you can fully cover everything that it's capable of. There's just no way. And you don't need to, because there are a ton of websites and forums and places to get that kind of information. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go through and show you the different parameters that Tasker offers, and then I'm going to show you some of the profiles that I've set up and things that my phone does because of things I've created in Tasker. And hopefully that'll give you an idea of what the program is and how truly awesome and cool it can be. So let's hop on my phone and I will show you what I can. Okay, so I'm going to show you Tasker. Tasker icon is right there in my notification bar at the top. So if I put on notification, you'll see Tasker, and it's showing what tasks are active at this point in time. And that's a persistent notification, and what that does is it means Tasker's always it gives it a priority. Android gives it a priority as though it is running in the foreground, even though it's actually in the background. But by giving it that persistent notification, it allows Tasker to make sure it doesn't get cut off by Android. Because if Android's system resources get tight because you have a lot of stuff running, then it starts to cut stuff off. And you don't ever want it to cut off Tasker, because Tasker, you know, obviously if it cuts off, it's not going to be able to do the things that you want it to do. So that's why that's in my notification. So I'm going to click that, which will take us right into Tasker. And basically you have 4 tabs in Tasker. You have your Profiles tab. Profiles are the best way I can put it, it's where you set up the action that is going to trigger one of the tasks. So it's, you set up what you push, what happens in your phone that triggers something to happen. Then there's the task. Task is what is going to happen. So when that action happens, this is the task that is executed. And so this is where you create task. Scenes. Scenes are hard to describe, but I will show you a scene. And I am not going to show you a lot with scenes because I honestly haven't used this feature a lot. I created this test scene just for the sake of showing you guys, and in doing that realized that I need to play with this some more, because there's some amazingly cool stuff you could do with scenes. Basically it allows you to create menus, overlays, boxes. You could, in essence, you could create your own applications by using scenes. And I'm just going to show you a very basic one, but there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. And then variables. Tasker does use variables for a lot of different things. Variables in Tasker not too much different from what you learned in basic algebra. X equals whatever, Y equals whatever. Obviously, if you know computer programming, then you're going to be very familiar with variables. But variables in Tasker, there are some variables that are built in. For example, nTitle is a variable for text that's in the notification bar. Car mode, however, is a variable that I created. In order to toggle it on or off, I created a variable. When you hit a button, it changed it to 1 or changed it to 0. And based on whether car mode was 1 or 0, told Tasker to initiate certain task. I don't use that anymore because I also don't use nTitle anymore. As you can see, I used this when I had Tasker task set up so that when I was in car mode, if I got a text message, it would read it to me. But now I have an app called EVA, which is a voice control app, sort of like Siri, but on steroids, and it reads all my text messages to me and is extremely advanced. I'm going to be reviewing it soon. But anyway, so I don't use any of these variables anymore, but that's what they are. The nTitle is a built-in for notification bar. I use that to read text messages. Car mode was a variable I created. So going back to profiles, I'm going to show you the actions that are available. If you wanted to create a new profile, you would click the plus button, you would give it a name, and then you would click that. And here are the context that you can choose from. These are the actions or things that would happen that would trigger a task. And you see it says first context, because you can have more than one. But I'm going to show you what they are. First is application. If you choose that, then your list of applications pops up, and you can pick an application that, or more. As you can see, you can select as many as you want. So if there were certain applications that when you open them, you wanted something to happen, then you could do that. Time. You can select from a certain point of the day to another certain point of the day, something you want to happen within a certain time parameter. And you can also select repeat if you want to repeat every day. So a little clock button here is just to make sure the controls have been set to the current time if they didn't show up that way already. The other context is day. So day of the week. Now remember, you can have more than one context. So you could have certain days of the week at certain times a certain thing happens, but not on other days of the week. But as you can see, you can select month, you can select days, you can select specific dates, or you can do all, none, odd, month day, week day, so that you can select certain days of the week as opposed to certain dates that you want a certain something to happen. Location. So it can be based on location. If you select new location, then that'll take you into your map and allow you to get a location fix to create a new location. I've already created one for my home, so if I were to select near home, then this location action would be based on being near my home. Then there's state. State, there's a lot of different things in here. I'm going to go through them real quick. State of an app, so calendar entry or an unread text. Net, so if you enter airplane mode, if you connect, Bluetooth is connected to something. So in other words, if your Bluetooth connects, then you want something to happen. Mobile, if mobile network is active, if Wi-Fi is connected, if Wi-Fi is near. You can also, inside of these, I'll just show you one. If you open Wi-Fi connected, you'll see you can change parameters. So you could invert, so then it would be if Wi-Fi is disconnected. So you do have the option to, inside each of these, change things. And then event. Actually, let's go back there because I don't think I covered, did I cover all the states? No, that was net. I don't have any plugins. There are a lot of apps that have plugins for Tasker, which will allow you to use them. So more states. Sensor, the light level, the proximity sensor, or orientation of your phone. Hardware, so based on it being docked or the headset plugged in, again, you can reverse it. So you could make it do one thing when the headset's plugged in and another thing when the headset's unplugged. Keyboard out, media button, USB plugged phone, so based on cell tower being near, specific cell tower, or an incoming call, or a missed call, or signal strength. So you could have different parameters happen based on these different things. Power, so based on the battery level. So in other words, if your battery level gets low, you could have certain things trigger on or off, or power. And then variable. And so you can have things, you saw variables where I created variables, and then I could create certain, like a certain, when that variable is a certain value, then this happens. And then event. Lots of events. So again, based on alarm clock or alarm done, based on a date being set, or a time and date being set, or a time zone being set. File, based on a file attribute change, or a file being deleted or moved or closed or modified or opened. Phone event, based on a missed call, phone idle, phone off hook, phone ringing, received text, SMS failure or SMS success. Sensor, based on a gesture or shake. UI, a button widget click, a new window, a notification click, or a zoom click. Zoom is a partner app to Tasker that allows you to create widgets. You can create your own widgets, and then you can initiate Tasker things through them. And it's made by the same person and works great with Tasker. I do actually have that, but I'm not reviewing that right now, so I'm not going to get into that anymore. Third party, a lot of third party apps, such as Widget Locker is a popular one. They can, a certain event from that app can trigger something in Tasker. Display, display off, display on, display unlocked. Hardware, camera button, long search button, card mounted, card removed, or card unmounted. Power, battery changed, battery full, battery overheating. System, device boot, shutdown, device storage low, locale changed, new package, package removed, package updated, wallpaper changed. And then again, variable cleared or variable set. So these are all the different events that you could have. So you got the applications, time, day, location, state, event, and you can mix these. So you could have it so that when there's a certain state of your phone, only Monday through Friday 3 to 5 you want an event to happen. But if that state changes on your phone any other time, you don't want it to happen. So context, that's what you start with. And then you go to task. Task are where you tell Tasker what to do when that action happens. When that profile activates, when that event happens that activates that profile, you want it to execute a task. So what task do you want it to do? So let's look at the different tasks you have. There are a lot. So let's go through them real quick. Alert flash, which is to print something on your phone. Notify, put something in your notification bar. Notify LED, that's LED flash. Notify through vibrating. Pop-up task buttons. Torch, that's the light on the back of your phone. Vibrate pattern. Menu. Notify cancel. Notify sound. Pop-up, set light, vibrate. There's a lot of things. That's just one category. Audio, alarm volume, DTMF volume, in-call volume, mic mute, notification volume, silent mode, speakerphone, Bluetooth volume, haptic feedback, media volume, notification pulse, ringer volume, sound effects, system volume, vibrate on ringer. Encryption. These are a little bit more complex, but they are here for you if you want to get into it. Clear key, decrypt file, set key, decrypt directory, enter key. So these are tasks that you're going to execute when something happens. Input, button, D-pad, input method, type, close, system dialogues, get voice, soft keyboard, voice command. So for example, just real quick, D-pad. So I have it set so that when I click a certain, when I select a certain task, that task opens my camcorder and it clicks my D-pad automatically. So in other words, it opens my recorder, and because it's going to simulate that D-pad click, it'll automatically start recording. So that's what these types of tasks are good for. I told you there were a lot. Action intent, CPU, GPS, run script, say, search, set time zone, test, component intent, get location, reboot, run shell, say to file, set clipboard, shut up. And I'm not going to go through each one of these to tell you what they do, because it would take forever, and there's lots of documentation you can read on all that. I'm just going to show you what all is available and then show you some of the things I've set up. Bluetooth voice, call block, call log, compose MMS, contacts, radio, send SMS, call divert, compose SMS, end call, send data, silence ringer, take call. Scene, these use the scenes. I'm not going to read all these, but these use the scene element that I mentioned earlier that you have. Tasks, these are specific tasks. Else, end if, go to, perform a task, stop, wait until, end for, if, return, and wait. Then variable, this is where you can set a variable, clear a variable, do different things with your variables when something executes. Third party, these are for third party apps that have plugins. Astrid has one, which I have on my phone. Widget Locker has one. Some of these other Gentle Alarm, other popular apps have built-in things to interact with Tasker. App, so counter, insert, go home, kill an app, load last app, open map, set alarm. Display, you can change, have the task that change auto brightness, display timeout, night mode, status bar, system lock, car mode, display rotation, key guard, lock, set wallpaper, stay on. I just did that. Display file, and have it do all these different things to files: delete file, copy file, move file, read line, write file, zip file, unzip file. Media, music, media control, music play, music stop, photo series time, record audio stop. So as you can see, just tons of different things. Go into airplane mode, do something to Bluetooth, get a HTTP, browse a URL, HTTP post, mobile data, do something with Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi tether. And then again, you have plugins for certain things. Minimalistic text, folder organizer, Widgetsoid, and Astrid filter are all apps I have on my phone that have plugins. I have plugins for Tasker. And then settings dialog, there's a whole lot of settings dialog things that you can have happen. Display, Bluetooth, internal storage, search settings, Wi-Fi settings, sync settings, wireless settings, security settings, locale settings. Any locale plugins also work with Tasker. And then Zoom. And this is if you have Zoom, the widget application, then you can, this is where you can call certain things to change an element of the widget, because Zoom is directly tied into Tasker. But again, we're not reviewing Zoom, we're reviewing Tasker. So those are all the actions, and of course, as you saw, there were a gazillion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the profiles I have. The ones that have the red check are ones that are happening, and the ones that have the red box are ones that are not happening. Some of these I actually need to delete because I have no use for them anymore, but I've just been holding on to them. And then the ones that are green highlight, that means they're working right now. They're active right now. So basically, I'm going to tell you about the ones I have active. Amazon, ooh, sorry, didn't mean to shake you. Amazon free, basically, let's open that up. I'll show you this. So whenever my alarm clock opens, that's the action. Whenever my alarm clock goes off, it counts. This is the task. First it counts, wait 2 minutes, and then load App Store. So first, whenever my alarm clock goes off, it counts to 2 minutes, and then when it gets to 2 minutes, it loads the App Store, which is the Amazon App Store. And the reason I do that is so that every day when I get up, the first thing I do is see what the Amazon free app of the day is. And then morning sound. Show you what that is. These are various, the one task is morning sound. Inside of that task I have all these settings. I set alarm volume, media volume, system volume, ringer volume, notification volume, and turn auto brightness on. The reason I have that is because at night, at 11 o'clock, you'll see I have another one that automatically adjusts these things for nighttime when I'm sleeping. So when the alarm goes off, it puts everything back to normal. And this is sleep sound. This is the one for night. So every night at 11 p.m. it initiates night sound, which is just lowers all my volumes down so that people don't bother me at night when I'm sleeping, and turns off the auto brightness and changes the display level really low. So that I did that so that if I do get up at night and roll over to look at something on my phone for some reason, it's not really bright, because that can hurt your eyeballs at night and wake up sleeping people. Let's see, this one is on, this is my screen timeout. And when I set this up is that anytime it's connected to power, so you can see power any, if my phone has power, is connected to a power source, then the screen stays on. So it does not time out whenever I'm connected to a power source. Of course, that's not green right now because I'm not connected to a power source. Right now, screen on, no power, which is anytime I'm not connected, as you see, not power, and anytime I'm not connected to power, my screen times out in 2 minutes. So that's my screen timeout. No lock 2, I will show you what those do in a minute on my phone. I don't know why I named that what I named it, but anyway, what this is anytime I get near these 2 cell towers, which are the closest 2 cell towers to my home, if my Wi-Fi is not on already, it'll cut it on automatically. So it just turns my Wi-Fi on in case I leave. I usually turn it off when I leave the house. If I forget to turn it back on, it should cut on automatically when I get close to my home. Media volume vibrate. Oh, this is a cool one. I'll show you what this does in a minute on my phone. But basically, I don't know why in Android when you put your phone into silent mode, either vibrate or silent mode, it doesn't mute the media. So if it's in vibrate or silent, but you accidentally hit a button that starts playing a song, it will play even if you're in the middle of church or the middle of a movie, which is not good. So I created that so that now anytime I set my phone to silent or vibrate, it automatically mutes the media. And media volume silent is the same one. Vibrate is for when it goes to vibrate, and silence for when it goes to silent. And then when I exit that mode, it turns it back. And then scene test is the one that I created, the scene that I created, which I'm going to show you. So let's get out of here. And I'll just show you an example of these. If we go to media, you'll see my media volume currently is at 6. So if I change my phone from vibrate to silent mode, see a little pop-up box, media volume 0. And that was part of Tasker. I set it up so that it would not only cut it to 0, but it would pop up a box to let me know that it's done it, so I know that it's 0. And if we now go into volume settings, you see my media is 0. Now if I go out of silent mode, I didn't create a box to show me that it was changing because that wasn't as important, but you can go to media and you'll see that it now cuts reset media volume back up to 5. Basically anytime I go from silent mode back to regular, it sets the media volume at 5. So if I want it louder, I can do that manually. Another task I have that's kind of cool, I'm going to turn my phone off real quick, and then I'm going to turn it right back on. And you'll see there was no lock screen. And that's because I have, that's the no lock that you saw. And I just was like, I know there's a lot of like lock screen widgets, and I started thinking the only reason anyone has lock screen widgets or special lock screens is because you can't easily access your phone. But if you can just press a button and be inside your phone, then you don't need to lock stuff all over your lock screen because it's already on your phone. And so that's a task I created that allows me to immediately just jump right back into my phone without having to do the lock screen. And basically what it does is I created a task that anytime the phone turns off or turns on, it toggles the lock screen off and on. If every now and again it'll get out of sync, so that I'll hit that button and it will there will be a bar that I have to drag down, and when that happens I have this button. If I hit that, it initiates the same task, and that resets it to make it right. Because let me show you, if you long press on here and you go to shortcuts on your home screen, you'll see one of the shortcuts you can do is task cut, and that basically allows you to put a shortcut on your screen to activate a task. So you can create a task and not create a profile, because some tasks you don't want them to happen automatically when something changes or happens in your phone. You just want to create a task that you can press a button and it'll happen. For example, if you created a car mode that turned on Bluetooth and turned off Wi-Fi and did certain other things for when you get in the car, you might just want it to have a button that you press that button and it makes all that happen. And so you could create that task, and you wouldn't have to create a profile. You could just, and then you'll see it opens up all my available tasks, and you can choose them and put them right on your home screen. You can do that through widgets as well. If you click the widgets, and widgets will come up here in a second, and you'll see there's two options for widgets. There is a task and a task timer. A task will execute a task automatically, pretty much the same as a shortcut. The task timer will put on, and I'll show you what that is. That puts this little thing right here. You get to choose your icon. I just chose some random icon. I chose, basically when you do this, you choose, when you set it up, you choose one of your tasks, and then when it's on your screen, anytime you press it, it opens up this timer, and you set the timer and click the check button, and it'll start counting down, and when it gets to the end, it'll execute that task. So this can be good. Let's say you want to listen to music when you're going to bed at night, so you want to leave your media volume up, but you want to cut that media volume off at a certain time, or kill that app, cut the app off at a certain time, then or cut the Bluetooth off at a certain time, then you can do that you would just hit this, and then that activated it. Hit the little icon, just choose your time, and then it starts, and it'll start counting down in a second. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you was the scenes, what scenes do. Let me stop that because I don't want that counting down. I'm going to have to pick up my phone because the scene I created, it happens when I connected it to when I shake the phone. Now again, you could create a button to make it come up, you could create an event to make it come up, but I said when I shake the phone. So I'm going to shake my phone, and when I shake my phone, you'll see this scene that came up here. Basically, it's you can make it as big as you want. It could be the whole screen. I just created it to be this size and created it to come up in the middle of my screen. And I made it so that if I tap this, it shows up yeah or yay. If I run my finger that way, stroke right. But you could make that do anything. You could have it so that when you run your finger right, it opens an app, or you could have it do any task. Anything that was in task, any of those hundreds of tasks you saw, you could have it do that. So you could have that overlay come up, and you could have different gesture that initiates different things. So again, you're probably getting the idea that Tasker allows you to do and create a lot of things that you might buy. There's a lot of apps on the market that really, if you have Tasker, you don't need those apps because you can do it all in Tasker. It may be a little easier and convenient to buy the apps if you don't want to go through the trouble of building it all yourself, but Tasker allows you full control, and that's what's kind of cool. And then I created this little icon. If I hit him, hopefully you'll be able to hear this.
I am the almighty Android phone.
So that's all he does.
I am the almighty Android phone.
So that was a button I created, again, on this one scene. So this is a scene. So you have a scene layout, you create the size of it, like this rectangle I have here, and then you add elements to it. And I added a button, and then I added a, I think it's called a stroke zone, that can react to different strokes or taps. So those are all, and this thing you can see as I'm scrolling, it's staying up. I have a little exit button. You can't barely see it, but it's there down in the corner. So if I hit that, then it exits out. And so these are just some of the, just a sampling of the really literally millions of things that you can do with Tasker. So that was Tasker. Again, it's one of the most, if not the most advanced app available for Android. It just allows you to control and do almost anything you can imagine. Again, some things are easy and other things are a little bit harder. Some of the profiles I created, it took me a little bit of trial and error to figure out how to get them to do what I wanted to do. But there's a lot of forums. Pent is the creator of Tasker, and he monitors the forums, so he's very good about responding to issues. And there's also just a lot of people, who are just fans of Tasker who will help you out as well. So there's a lot of help available. But it's a great app. I think it's a little bit more expensive than your basic app, but that's because it does way more things than your basic app. So anyway, it's called Tasker. It is available on the market. There's not really, I don't think there's a trial version. I'm not sure, but you can check and see. But it's well worth it. If you saw the things that I was doing and you thought to yourself, oh, I'd love to be able to do some of those things, then there you go. Then it'd be worth it for you. Anyway, that's Tasker. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll do my best to answer. I am definitely not a Tasker expert. I'm an expert at the things that I've tried to do. But if it's not something I've tried to do, for example, with scenes, I'm not an expert at scenes. But the things I've tried to figure out, I can answer. But I'll certainly try to answer your questions if you have any. You can also, I'll put the link to the Tasker website so that you can check that out as well. It has a lot of information about the application as well. Anyway, as always, this is Eric from hollywoodfrodo.com. I'm going to wrap up this in-depth review of Tasker. If you like the review, please click the like button. If you like my reviews in general, then subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be constantly putting up more reviews of what I think are some of the best apps for Android. Anyway, until next time, I want to remind you that your Android phone is only going to be as good as you make it.